Welcome back to Medrash Umaisa, this time recording in the courtyard of a lovely shul in Brighton, Massachusetts. During my trip to America, I had the pleasure of visiting friends of mine, the Avidan family in Lakewood, and while I was there, they shared a story about Mrs. Avidan's father. So his name is Eliyahu Abud, and his name is Avi Abud, may he be well, and live long. His father was Eliyahu Abud. Eliyahu Abud came to America from Israel, and he lived in the Lower East Side. And while he was there, he actually formed a kesher with Rav Moshe Feinstein and his family. The profession he chose was to be an electrician, and he actually did the electrical work for Rav Moshe's apartment. And if you can imagine what was done by the lighting and electricity in that apartment, you realize what a tremendous chus that was. Unfortunately, a criminal in New York on the streets shot Mr. Eliyahu Abud, and he passed away at a young age. His son, Avi, who was just before his bar mitzvah, decided that he wanted Gadol Yisrael to come to his bar mitzvah. And he got the phone number of Rabbi Eikev Kamenetsky, who at that point was living in Monsey. He called up and introduced himself. He said, "This is my name, and I'm about to have my bar mitzvah. I lost my father recently, and I wanted to ask if Kamenetsky could come to my bar mitzvah." Rabbi Yaakov replied that he wasn't sure, he would have to check and he would get back to him. The next day, the phone rang, and Mrs. Abud called her son over to the phone, and she told him, "Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky is on the phone and wants to talk to you." So Rabbi Yaakov told him that he has to apologize. He cannot make it to the bar mitzvah itself. But he said that soon afterwards he was going to be coming into New York for a meeting of Agudas Yisrael, and he would like to meet him there. He asked that Avi please put his mother on the phone so he could explain to her where and when the meeting would be, and that he would like her to bring the bar mitzvah boy to that meeting. When he arrived they said, I think it was in a hotel where people were meeting, Gadol Yisrael associated with the Agudah were meeting. So Rabbi Yaakov had already prepared the person at the entrance that somebody very special was coming, and he got a very special welcome. And he had told that when Avi Abud comes, he was to be called, and he came and he met the boy and he gave him a hug and a kiss and brachas, and that was a very special aspect of that bar mitzvah that had many other special aspects. The reason that story fits so much with this week's Parshas Eikev, is because Eikev Tishma'un, the Torah warns us to be careful to listen and to not ignore mitzvahs she'adam dosh ba'akevo. There are mitzvahs that are out there that a person can trample with his heel. There are certain mitzvahs we feel we're obligated to do. There are certain mitzvahs that we use as our definition of a frum Jew. But there are many things that are so big that we just don't notice, or that we might brush away. Why would I go to a bar mitzvah of someone I don't know? A kid who's calling me, a Gadol b'Yisrael, to come to his bar mitzvah? Rabbi Yaakov didn't see it that way. He didn't trample on the mitzvah, and certainly not on the young man, but he viewed it as something that should be taken advantage of, to give with the greatest of his ability, love and support. Yosam v'almana ya'oded. HaKadosh Baruch Hu encourages the Yosam v'almana. The parish of the word ya'oded is very beautiful. It comes from the root od, to make more. Rabbi Yaakov made that boy feel like so much more than he was. And the bracha that he gave continues on, the Ayin Hara and the wonderful family that he formed and his descendants. And I'm sure in Olam Emes he's having great nachas from them. Let us try to walk in those footsteps, not to trample on mitzvahs that we may brush away or overlook, but to look carefully and to raise up those mitzvahs and to make them ours. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos, a wonderful week. Kol Tuv.